Hello, hi, how you doing? Hey guys, how you doing? This is the Queen Terry Battle. I'm coming here from upstate Central Albany, New York, and I'm here in at the Albany Public Library. I'm thankful that the library director and their staff were able for me to let me use their resources and provide the assistance that I needed to go ahead and be available to use their resources and their computers and everything else is needed. So it is Sunday, March the 1st. I'm here at the public library and I'm doing some research. So I just want to say shout out, hello to all my 10, 20, 30 subscribers here at the here in the YouTube community and globally around the world. And I just want to shout out to say happy Lent. Happy end of Black History Month. Happy end of to a lot of things as well. I am not Muslim. I'm not Muslim. I am not Christian. I'm actually converting to Catholicism. So unfortunately, there's a lot of people that have an issue with that, being a single Black woman and not able to agree with a lot of the issues in the Black community, and being a single woman and being independent, not relying on a man, trying to start everything fresh and over again, doing my own thing, being on my own direction. And I actually able to, of course, I do need lawyers. I do need public aid, but legal aid is unfortunately not able to help me with a lot of issues. So pretty much, I wanted to go ahead and follow up with what's going on right now with the health issue with the coronavirus. And the coronavirus is a very serious issue that's going on with the CDC and the WHO, which is the Centers for Disease Control, as well as the World Health Organization and the National Institutes of Health. And the coronavirus is a very people find it insulting for myself to be, struggling through a lot of issues and to be a part of the homeless community and not being able to find a safe and affordable place to live because people find it um, that I am low class and that I do not deserve a clean bed to sleep in because I am struggling right now. I'm homeless, but the with the global epidemic with the coronavirus, of course, it is an epidemic. And I was doing some. You guys can also follow me on my Twitter handle and my Facebook and LinkedIn resources as well because um, they're doing research on the coronavirus, which is COVID 19, but the National Institutes of Health and the Centers for Disease Control is not providing the public with any kind of specific specific disease symptoms of this illness. The CDC and the World Health Organization is not providing the general public with any kind of specific knowledge or any kind of um, specific symptoms, specific issues, rather than it just being a global disease that people will die immediately and drop dead from this disease. And it's not. It's not a seasonal flu, but you won't just drop dead just from the coronavirus, just because it came from China. There are a lot of issues out there that have to do with the coronavirus. It's not just because somebody is sick and they're around sick people all the time, then that's who they should be surrounded with. No, or you should be isolated, or you should be um, isolated from society just because you're around poor people. That's not how it is. People have this fear, this contagion, because um, lack of knowledge is fear. Fear is a lack of knowledge. And being in the medical profession myself, and a part of the military community, formerly served in the United States Army Reserves, being a medical profession myself, I risk my license if I see an issue that needs to be addressed and nobody in the public or the medical community does anything about this issue. So just this past weekend here in Albany, there was uh, areas and areas around downtown Albany that were covered in human vomit. People were vomiting all around here in downtown Albany, about 3 or 4 blocks from the Capitol. There was vomit all over the streets for at least 8 to 12 hours. It was fresh vomit. And I think the vomit was there for at least maybe 8 to 12 hours or 1 or 2 days. Fresh vomit in different pits of the city. It was around the Hilton Hotel. It was around the Renaissance Hotel. It was around the Marriott Hotel. It was just vomit everywhere. And being a medical professional, seeing all these people in the community um, not do anything about this human vomit on the streets in midday light on Saturday. And I myself had to take some precaution and had to, cover up and try to cover up the vomit as best as I could with, whatever kind of um, pretty much um, Pacific, you know, um, Pacific, what is it? Um, I have to say, um, resource that I had in order to clean up this vomit. And the only resource I did have available was kitty litter. And so I bought about 2 things of kitty litter from the local CVS pharmacy, um, 2 blocks, 2 blocks from downtown here in downtown Albany. And luckily there were some things of kitty litter left. I bought some cheap kitty litter, and I covered up about 3, 4, 5, 6 piles of human vomit here in downtown Albany. And the police saw me doing it, but they didn't They didn't stop, paid attention. They didn't ask me what I was doing. They just kept going about their way. So unfortunately, it seemed crazy, but I was the only one able to actually do something about this human vomit on the streets of Albany, New York. So again, there's a lot of issues to be observed with, you know, with coronavirus and things like that. And with the limited resources I'm available today here at the Albany Public Library, I have to do something about this issue. And I do have my talks here. I do have, my resources available. I'm a first aid responder. I'm a good Samaritan. I really don't need permission to use the resources that I have. I don't need permission to be able to say who I am. I don't need the permission. I'm not a married woman. I'm a single black Latino female. I'm doing research on myself, and I am a medical professional. So, unfortunately, someone's got to do the dirty work. Someone's got to do the dirty work. And being in the community, having first aid, being a phlebotomist, being a medical assistant, I'm always available to help out the community or those in need. Because if I was in their shoes, I would want them to do it for me as well. And right now, I only have about one person watching this, viewing this right now. So I only have about one person viewing this. But you know what? It's okay. It's okay. I only have about one person viewing this, but it's okay. I have only one person viewing this. So I'm just going to pretty much go over a couple of things as well. Pat my head here. There we go. That's better. So, being a black woman, I'm going through a lot of issues here. Being judgments every single day on the street, in the community, and I'm in the medical profession for a reason. I've been involved in the community in Florida, Houston, Dallas, Los Angeles, Southside Chicago, downtown Chicago, um, here in New York, Washington D.C., Texas, Fort Worth, Texas, Fort Hood, Fort Sam. I've been involved in the medical community as well as in grammar school and high school. I was taking medical professional biology, chemistry, all these health courses when I was in grammar school. So it really is not an issue to me at all to actually give up, free up my services in order to be able to help those in need. So I do completely understand that you do need to help people and to provide services for those in need, to provide services for those in need. So I completely understand it. It may be a little bit insulting to people to actually see someone like myself. Like I'm a black single woman, a female, of Latino descent. I'm doing research on myself, my English, my Spanish, Navajo, Cherokee, Dakota Indian descent. And some people find it insulting that I'm not servicing them. I'm servicing myself rather than servicing them. So, unfortunately, that's just how it is. So you have to deal with society and deal with people's lack of knowledge of their own. So anyway, that's just how it is. So people unfortunately are able to use my freedom, my freedom of speech, my freedom of religion, my freedom of action, my freedom of expression to be who I am, to be an independent woman. And unfortunately, people find it insulting. So I'm not gonna. I'm thankful to be able to use the resources that I have and be able to use what I have in need. I'm not working for anybody. I'm working for myself. I'm not paid for anybody. I'm paid. I do this on my own free time. I don't have any extra money on the side. The money that you see is the money in my bank account. I'm not hiding money. I'm not investing money. I'm not stealing money. I have resources, so I'm not investing anything. I'm not stealing anything. I'm not trafficking anything. The only thing I'm trafficking is my mind and my mouth, my freedom of mouth. So unfortunately, people are um, are incompetent to who they are. So you just have to deal with people's intuitions. So pretty much, I'm gonna catch up with you guys about. I have about maybe 15, 20 more minutes to use these resources that the Albany Public Library has been able to let me use. Thankful for that. Thankful for Albany Public Library for able to let me use their resources. Very, very, very much happy for that. So I'm here. I have Times Unit Library, Times Unit, and I was talking about pretty much music and how Joe Biden is gaining ahead of the momentum of the public, and pretty much getting ahead momentum of the race of education and the coronavirus was addressed by the president this Saturday. He had a press media conference, and I was able to Twitter handle him at the same time that he was with his press media conference. So it's actually pretty cool to actually get the president's attention when many other people are are able to do the same thing I'm able to do. So it's pretty cool to actually do the same thing. So happy Super Tuesday to a lot of you people out there. And Joe Biden is doing really good in South Carolina. And Joe Biden is doing really good in South Carolina. And again, I really do want to focus I really do want to focus on the coronavirus. Um, just going through here the newspaper. Going through the paper here is really actually kind of interesting. Actually, I'm going to go through the paper here. Yes, how much is similar to what's going on with the coronavirus. And as it is leap year, so happy leap year to everybody. Happy March. It was yesterday, it was February the 29th, so happy um, leap year. It is 2020 is a leap year, so very, very, very happy year as well. So we're also talking about New York's state's population is declining. So as well, right here, New York population is declining. As well for that. So as well, let me see here. Okay, so here it is right now. It's talking about COVID-19, which is actually coronavirus. So it's right here talking about today, Sunday, the March 1st edition of the Albany newspaper, which actually is Albany's Time Union, is talking about that the coronavirus is not just, it's not about politics, it's actually a real epidemic. And so being a medical professional, I have to take precautions for myself to protect myself as well as the public, even though um, people have a fear. And when people have fears, their fear spreads. So it's really, really hard to actually process and analyze a lot of the issues that I've been going through. It's really, and so because I have like a lot of resources as well. So right here is there's an epidemic of politics. So right here, an epidemic of politics, and that Albany Times Union right here. And I do completely agree with that issue. Um, you really can protect somebody's image. You really have to inform the public, let the public be aware of what's going on about this issue. Unfortunately, um, pretty much it is just basic common sense, especially when you're dealing with Ebola, when you're dealing with coronavirus, when you're dealing with the swine flu, when you're dealing with the black flu, the black plague, anything like that in particular. Anything like that in particular. Um, you're dealing with festering illnesses that the public spreads from country to country to country to country to country to country to country. And so people, the fear is a lack of knowledge. And what people don't understand is they have all this panic, all this social panic. Panic on TV, panic on the newspapers, panic in the public, panic when in reality it's just basics. It's just pretty much pretty much the basics of any kind of disease, any kind of illness, any kind of virus. The very basics information of any virus or any illness. The primary first, 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 first precaution that you should take with any virus, illness, disease, or any multiplication of a disease, or endemic, an epidemic, or a pandemic. First primary precaution is infection control. Infection control. Control. You always want to protect yourself as well as the public. So you always want to provide infection control. It's always about infection control. Infection control. So something as simple as this. So I always carry around my hand sanitizer. And this past weekend I went to hotel, and I was able to actually thoroughly wash and clean my hands. I was actually able to wash and clean my hands. I was actually able to clean and wash my hands cleanly and thoroughly. So I do have always carry around hand sanitizer, any kind of sanitizer, and my purse. This is my purse that I carry with me around every single day. My purse, my bag of materials as well. Purse I carry with me every single day, and I always carry around my hand sanitizer. I always carry my hand sanitizer, and the very proper definition of infection control is washing your hands, covering your cough, and also just pretty much basic common sense. If you see something, if there's a mess, clean it up immediately. If you vomit, or if there's vomit or feces on the floor, clean it up, cover it up, clean it up immediately. I mean, it's stupid. It's common sense. It's really common sense. It's stupid, but it's common sense. I mean, it's okay to isolate people, but you can't isolate people forever. People need to get out and to live and to breathe. I mean, just because you're homeless doesn't mean that you're destitute. That doesn't mean that you're less of a person. That doesn't mean that you're a sick, diseased person. It just means that you lack the resources to be able to take care of yourself. But just because you lack those resources, it doesn't mean that you're diseased to people as well. It doesn't mean that you are a disease. Just because you are homeless, it does not mean that you are a disease. Okay, so very basic precautions of any kind of illness, any kind of issue, disease, virus. It's pretty much basic infection control. Washing your hands, covering your mouth, staying in a contained area. If you see a mess, vomit, feces, any kind of saliva, any kind of human fluids, clean it up, cover your mouth, clean up, wipe it off, clean it up. Any kind of human um, saliva, human fluids, any kind of fluids from your nose, your mouth, feces, vomiting, or excrement, clean up immediately. That's it. And here at the library, they don't clean up after people. They try to isolate people, but they don't clean up people. They don't clean up. You see homeless people in and out of these chairs, in and out of these issues, but they do not. They do not wipe and sanitize, Lysol the area. All these people come in here. It doesn't matter what race you are, what color you are, and they isolate people. So they should actually clean and Lysol the area. So very basic. I mean, they say that hand sanitizers are more effective than hand washing. But actually, hand washing, in my opinion, is the primary most effective control of protecting yourself from any disease or illness. A basic hand washing technique. I'm going to explain right now, about 20 minutes into my webcam. Very basic hand washing technique. This I'm using hand sanitizer technique that I learned at Advocate, as well as in Houston and Chicago and Texas and Florida and California. Basic hand sanitizer procedure. Here's your hand. Here's the hand sanitizer. It's not just like, oh, you dab it, you'll be okay. It's actually friction. You need that friction. So you need about 15 to 20 minutes of friction. So we're going to put it right here. 1 or 2 dots.
You heard that saying before. Mama do say that. There's a way about that. Right. I mean, as long as you can cover in there.
So I put about 1 or 2 dollops on here. My hands, you see fluid on my hands. Okay, drop. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do this for about 15. It's not supposed to be 45 seconds. The same thing. It's the same time with hand sanitizer as it is with normal hand washing. So you're gonna do hand washing right here. Do it right here. Okay. This is about $1. Here is $1. Okay, so what do? You need that friction. It's called friction for a reason. So you need the friction as well. Hey, I'll have to go. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Hi guys, how you doing? I'm gonna go ahead and give a shout out to my brother, King Jamar Harris, is currently serving the United States Marine Corps. Hurrah! To my other friend, Charleston Burke, is also serving in the United States Marine Corps. Hurrah! And um, to all my friends, military people who have currently served in the United States forces as well. Hi, how you doing? Hurrah too as well. Okay, so my aunt Arlene Mercer, who served in the Army, my uncle Manzi Clay, who served in the Navy, my friend Mary Jones, who is a first and second lieutenant in the Army, as well as myself, to my unit. I think it's the 388th Battalion Regiment in Seagull, Texas, and Little Rock, Arkansas, and outside Louisiana and Georgia as well. So, hurrah to all my family and military family as well. So I'm pretty much going to explain kind of, so shout out to all my military family, also the veteran and POWs who have served in the United States Armed Forces in previous states in the past as well as abroad. So shout out to all my military family as well. Okay, so we're going to discuss the proper hand washing technique. So here's this, as the same as washing your hands in the restroom, is the same as using the hand washing technique with basic sanitizer. So I have a little holder right here. So here is my little hand washing holder. Little friend, how you doing?
Oh.
So it's pretty much basic hand washing technique as well, okay? So any kind of hand sanitizer, if you wash your hands in the restroom, it's about 30 to 45 minutes. It really does take about 30 to 45 seconds to properly wash your hand. You want to be free of all jewelry, any kind of jewelry. Armed jewelry is okay, but in doctor's offices and clinics, you still want to be armed jewelry. You want to release it here, release it above your arms. Try to put it as far up above your arms as possible. Okay, try to put it as far above your arms as possible. Okay, so you can properly clean your hands as well as your upper arms. Okay, so we're gonna put about a couple drops of hand sanitizer on our hands to properly clean our hands. So we're gonna take this thing right here and put one drop, another drop. Okay, that should be good, and one more drop. Okay, right here. Okay, that's about 3 or 4 drops of hand sanitizer on our hands, as you can see, and just a regular hand sanitizer. Bath and Body Works, all that scented hand sanitizer is not necessary. All you need is basic unscented alcohol rub or our sensitive hand sanitizer. All that fruity, smelly, flavored hand sanitizer is not necessary. You just need basic, clear, original hand sanitizer alcohol rub. All the other stuff is not necessary. So here's my hand sanitizer. You want to take it right here. Put your hands together. Okay, and you need friction. So what you need is friction for the hand sanitizer. So you rub your hands together for about 10 to 50 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 19, 20. So that's the first part, and then right here you're gonna rub it in between. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Take it between our hands right here, and then rub each finger digit about 3 to 5 seconds. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, each finger digit for about 3 to 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you need that friction. So you're gonna be able to rub. You need friction. That's what you need. You need friction. So you rub it. It's hand sanitizer. Hand sanitizer. So you have to actually rub each digit, each finger digit. You need that friction. You need that friction. So you have to rub it. So you need that friction. And after you get each and every single digit, you're gonna go rub again inside. You need that friction. And this is just with the alcohol. Sanitizer gel. That friction. Between the thumbs. You need the friction. So you need friction. You need that friction. You need that friction. The friction between the fingers. That's all. And you will go over here to your arms. Rub your hands right here. And that friction as well. And that's about it. That is proper hand washing technique. No jewelry or anything. No jewelry. No jewelry. That's pretty much basic hand washing technique. That's pretty much very basic hand washing technique. You go about your day as usual. Every time before you eat in and out of the restroom, you wash your hands. It's very, very safe, effective infection control. And like, the CDC, National Institutes of Health, the World Health Organization is making a big, big deal about the spread of coronavirus. They're making a very, very big deal about the spread of it. But no one's actually telling the public what to do. How do you prevent yourself from catching this? How do I prevent myself from catching this? Oh, well, I think wear a face mask. Well, it's more than just wearing a face mask. It's more than just covering your face. It's more than just that. You actually need to prepare yourself and your children as well, and the loved ones in your care to do the very best you can for infection control. And the disease is not just only in China, in Japan, in Asia. It's actually spreading in Europe and now spreading to Canada and the United States. So pretty much what we want to do is we want to just inform the public just to have very, very, very basic common sense. It's common sense. It's very, very basic common sense. It's basic common sense. You sneeze, cover your mouth. Um, you wash your hands after you use the restroom. If there's vomit or feces, uh, put the proper measures to cover up the area and clean it up immediately. This is very, very basic technique and knowledge that you need in order to protect yourself from um, the output of the media. Not just the media, but the news outlets. Everybody's making a big deal. It's a big deal. You also need common sense. Like, okay, if there is a computer virus going around, well, we need to protect the public from computer virus. We have viral software to protect the public from a computer virus. So they develop antivirus software, or they tell people to lock up their phones, change their passwords, very basic things like that. If there was a computer virus, it would the same thing would apply to a health virus as well. So it's just very, very basic common sense. It's common sense. And then there's so many different ways of hand sanitizers. There's hand sanitizers like this. They come in the gel. Then there's different hand sanitizer sprays like this as well. They're all over. These are just hand sanitizers. Very basic. Same thing. They have hand sanitizer sprays. Same thing. About if you have those, it's the same thing. I would at least want all you need is just friction. 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 It's very, very basic common sense. You need the friction. You need the friction because you need to combat those germs. Combat those germs. Very basic friction and friction. As far as when you cough, cover your mouth. Cover your mouth. This is very, very basic common sense. Cover your mouth. Cover your mouth. You know, it's not too much of a common sense issue. And if you're around somebody that's sick, wear gloves. Wear gloves. Wear some kind of gloves. Wear gloves. And of course, I need to wash my clothes. But right now, I don't have the resources available to change clothes and wash into another set of clothes. I really don't have those resources available. I have to know what I have. I'm a clean person. I bathe every day. I take care of myself every day. Where else am I gonna go? What else am I gonna do? Get out of here. I can't do that. I can't live like that. So hand sanitizer is key. Washing your hands, cover your mouth, just basic. And then if you defecate, if you pass urine, wash your hands. Make sure that the area is clean that you defecate or you pass urine on. Clean up your defecation, especially in places like China, where there is over 2 billion people living in China and everybody is compacted together in tight knit communities. People sometimes lack proper sanitary techniques. When you have 2 billion people in one country, and apartment buildings 30, 40, 50 stories high. Sometimes there's not proper sanitary measures. So, if you defecate, if you pass urine, clean up the area. Some people don't have toilets, modern day toilets, like we here in America do. Even in India, they still, some places in India don't have modern day toilets. So they pass urine, they defecate um, sitting down on the ground. And so you still have to um, protect, caution of yourself, still be able to clean up after yourself, clean up after your stool is passed, as well as wash your hands or making sure that you're not in a dirty area with a dirty rag everywhere. I mean, for me myself, I like a lot of resources, so I'm trying to do my very best that I can to take care of myself and my health as well as um, ask a stupid question is a stupid question, but no stupid question is a stupid question. So you always have to do the very best you can in order to pretty much make it. So, I mean, coronavirus did originate from China, but it's a stupid name for a stupid illness, corona. It actually should be made a more medical terminology, proper medical terminology for it. COVID 19 is a really, really good term for the illness, but there should actually be a more better terminology for this illness. So people can actually understand that coronavirus doesn't have to do anything with drinking beer or laughing or being funny or going out and drinking. Coronavirus is actually a um, um, viral um, illness that comes from your nose and your mouth and your body secretions, and it can actually cause respiratory failure and then eventually lead to death. And people they think that the name is funny, but the name is not funny. So I think that I do agree that the medical community does need to change the medical terminology for this illness. Instead of calling it the coronavirus, they should actually call it something more to COVID-19 or something more technical to it as well. So it's stupid. It's really, really stupid. It's really, really stupid. But you try to do the very best that you can with little resources that you do have. So it's very, very stupid. But you have to do the very best with what you can. And the resources that are available out to you. So hopefully, I can get out there and I can reach out to a lot of people um, with skills that I have that are available. Um, it is really, really low being a black person and being a part of, I still have my license. I haven't had a job in 2 years, but I am pretty much doing the very best I can, especially with something like coronavirus or COVID 19. This has been going on not just 2020. This illness has actually been around for over a year now, and it's originated for over a year since early 2019, 2018, and now in early March 2020, the public's actually figuring out, okay, there's something serious about this issue. This illness has actually been around for 2 years now, and people are actually doing something about it. Um, actually doing something about this um, illness, do something about it as well. So people are actually really need, and being a person myself, I see some feces and vomit on the floor or on the public street, and I'm not gonna do anything about it. You must be crazy. No, that's not how it works. There's an issue with that. And yeah, I may be a little bit of crazy, but that's just what needs to be done, how it should be um, addressed and handled and analyzed as well. So pretty much I'm doing the very best I can with what little resources that I have, and I'm very happy to be here at the Albany Public Library for letting them allowing me to use their resources as well. And the library's about to close in about 5 minutes, so I'm gonna make this short. So again, the coronavirus is nothing to be afraid of. It's just pretty much having basic common sense. Wash your hands, cover your mouth. If you pass urine or if you defecate or you pass stool, fecal stool, clean up your area, clean up your body fluids, clean up the area that you urinate or you defecate on, so that the other people can pass through and will be able to use the same area. Will be able to use the same area. It's pretty much pretty much basic common sense. You pass urine, you defecate, clean it up. You vomit, you defecate, clean it up. Don't leave your bodily fluids for the public because it's pretty much common sense. If someone's bodily fluids are on the ground, people are going to pass by and get sick just off breathing off of the bodily fluids of other people. One person's going to get sick by breathing off those bodily fluids, and another person is going to be sick by breathing off those bodily fluids. And secretions, the secretions, and the smell of those body fluids in a local area and in a nationwide area as big as China and Beijing. And the country of China has over 2 billion people, over 2 billion populace, and people are so clamped up together. They're breathing in that same area. They're breathing in that same contagion. They're breathing in that same smell of vomit and feces. Everybody's breathing in the same smell of vomit and feces. Of course, everybody's gonna get sick. Of course, everybody's gonna get sick because everybody is breathing in that same human fluid matter. Everybody's breathing in that same waste because there's nothing being done about cleaning up that clean it up. You have people coming in body suits, masks, like it's a bomb squad. It's not a bomb squad. Of course, you should have a bomb squad. It's not Ebola, but it's just common sense. It could turn into Ebola. Coronavirus, COVID-19 could turn into Ebola if people don't stop and actually take proper infection control measures, common sense, especially in a city as big as Beijing, China, or is in Mumbai, India, when you have over 2 billion people, 1 billion people living so closely compacted together, and you have people over different social statuses. Billionaires living with poor, bottomless people. You have a billionaire living on the high rise, and you have a low income class person living in the same apartment building. And everybody is breathing in that same fecal matter, that same vomit. Of course, everybody is going to get sick off of that same bodily fluid matter. Everybody is going to get sick off that same bodily fluid matter. And I've been kicked out of so many different libraries. I've been kicked out of stores. I've been kicked out of beauty supply stores again and again and again and again. But you just pretty much have to do the best of what you can with what resources are limited to you. People are going to get sick if you don't have common sense to take care of cleaning up after your waste, washing your hands, covering your mouth, protecting yourself and your kids. And even with the seasonal flu, if the kids catch the seasonal flu, who's going to catch it next? The parents. And then when the parents go to work, who's going to catch the seasonal flu when the parents go to work? Their coworkers. And when the coworkers catch the seasonal flu, who's next going to catch the seasonal flu? The family members of the coworkers. And it passes and it passes and it passes and it passes. When people go out to the mall, when people go out to eat, they catch that same seasonal flu. And the people make a big commotion about, oh, it's something else, not the seasonal flu. It's a virus. It's Ebola. No, it's just common sense. It's a seasonal flu. But a seasonal flu could turn into an epidemic if proper measures are not taken care of. Proper infection control, proper common sense. If you pass feces or you defecate or you pass vomit, clean it up immediately, especially if you're in a largely populated area. Clean it up immediately because that sense, those bodily fluids, if you inhale any kind of bodily fluids, you will get sick. And your next door neighbor will inhale those same bodily fluids, and your next door neighbor will get sick. And down your bottom neighbor on the downstairs below you, they smell those bodily fluids coming when you open the door. They get sick. And your upstairs neighbor, when they smell your bodily fluids, they're going to get sick. And when you're dealing with the populace like Beijing, China, Mumbai, India, everybody's living compacted together. Everybody's going to get sick because they all smell the same bodily fluids which are not being taken care of. It's common sense. And everybody's going to have the same virus because people are not cleaning up after themselves. And then that virus, it becomes viral. respiratory, because it's a respiratory virus, because people are breathing it in every single day. People are breathing it in. That's why it's a respiratory illness. And it can become a respiratory epidemic if people don't have common sense and clean up after themselves, wash their hands, cover their mouths, protect their children and their family members as well, and let their neighbors know as well. It's common sense. The same thing happened with the Black Plague. The same thing happened with Ebola until the medical community had to come in and sanction those people, sanction those areas, quadrant off those areas, clean up those areas, and protect the control the spread of it by cleaning it up and let other people know. Please take proper infection control measures. So it's in the news. It's all over the news. It's all over the news. All over the news. It's all over the news. Please take proper infection control measures. Please take proper infection control measures. If a urine passes urine or you defecate, clean it up immediately so that other people will not inhale or be influenced, cause them to be sick over that same illness that you come into contact with, that you've gone through with. You have any kind of human saliva, any kind of human bodily fluid on the area, Lysol it immediately. Especially in a public library, they don't Lysol the chairs. But there's a virus going around and they still don't clean up, sanitize the areas. You're in a public library with over 1 million people a year and you don't sanitize the area and you wonder why people get sick. It's common sense. It's common sense. So this is LaQueen Terry Battle, about 45 into my live viewing today, talking about the coronavirus. I'm really thankful for you guys listening to me. Hopefully, I'll be allowed back into this library. They can't have a couple libraries already. So please take proper infection control measures. Sanitize your area. Sanitize your body. Clean up after any kind of bodily fluids. Cover your mouth when you cough, and please wash your hands. Please wash your hands. It's basic common sense. That's the only way, best way to protect yourself from any kind of virus illness. Please wash your hands. Wash your hands. All right, this is LaQueen Terry Battle coming in from Albany Public Library. Very happy to be with you guys. Very interested. Very interested. Very happy to be a part of this community, and I'm part of the medical community, so I'm pretty much doing the very best I can with what little limited resources I have, and pretty much trying to do the best of what I can. So again, please wash your hands, take common sense, and use the best precautions you can with any kind of illness, coronavirus, or any kind of seasonal flu illness before it turns into an epidemic and a pandemic. So this is LaQueen Terry Battle coming from Albany, New York, the capital city region area. Love you guys. Peace and much love. Bye. Hey.
Is that you were doing?
Yeah.
How you doing?
Okay.
Hey, what's up? Hey.
Trying to